Hey guys, welcome back to Wednesday Live here on my YouTube channel. As always, feel free to ask anything you want, and I'll do my best to answer any questions. Hi guys, hi Hal, Leighton, nice to see you here. Well, the big news, I guess, this week, if there's no questions, which I haven't received, I think many questions for the live stream, is Kodak coming out with a T-Max P3200, and no news on Ektachrome. So it's pretty interesting to see they made that move. Makes me wonder why, not just keep on going with what they had planned and change things up. I know a lot of people are excited about 3200. I'm not saying I'm not excited about it, but just would love to see that slide film in the Super 8. So I hope they release it soon. So yeah, any questions? I have a few things I've been answering on my YouTube channel, which maybe some of those questions could be interesting to say live. Just made a video which I'm gonna post after this. Basically reminding everyone that any questions are welcome, that as much as a lot of things are online on forums, on magazines, on websites and stuff like that, sometimes the most simple questions are not answered because one is shy to ask, and I made a video for that. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. TB Photo saying, hi guys. Last week I mentioned about the dichroic and larger lenses, found a UK supplier £6.74 per bulb, and an incredible deal on Elcobrom. So good, I don't believe it's true, but we'll link you all if it's true. Yeah, it's good to know if it's true or not. Leighton, I never got to send that email, so I'm gonna make myself a reminder to send that email to ask about those light bulbs. But are they just random normal light bulbs, or they have to be in larger ones? I have it saved, but I haven't had a second this week. So sorry for that. How said, and that Elcobrom link, let us know. I've seen sometimes amazingly cheap deals, especially in Spain here, for certain chemicals, and they've been true, so you never know. How says, I asked the employee at my local store, the Ilford MG warm tone developer is specially used for warm tone fiber-based paper. He doesn't know why they do that, but yeah, the price is pretty high, $20 for 500 milliliters. I've heard about the Ilford, let's see, Ilford photo. The warm tone developer doesn't have to be, I think, used only on the warm tone fiber-based paper. I think it makes, gives a slight tone to paper, but I don't think it has to be only with that paper. So let's see if there's anything on their website, because I've never used the, this website is not very easy to use. Paper developer. Warm tone developer. Suitable, here it says, suitable for developing traditional resin coated paper and fiber-based paper, black and white photography paper. Liquid concentrate print developer, suitable for RC and fiber-based paper, warm image tone for dish tray developing. So, and there's the downloadable product information, which I will link to you guys. It doesn't say it's only for the warm tone. It says it's warm tone for anything. It's just meant to be used with anything you want. Developing times, for example, it says the time, except for multigrade RC cool tone paper, compared to the RC papers, multigrade RC cool tone is slow to develop. So they're not saying it can't be used. You can use it with anything you want, Hal. But if you like warm tone, check the paper and not the developer. That's what I do. I use the paper from Warm Tone and not the developer. I use the multi-contrast, which is not that expensive, and it works fine with me. Hi, JKL. Yeah, I asked the same thing, if I can use it with normal fiber-based or RC paper. He said no. Well, tell him to read this, because it seems to be that either Ilford is wrong or your store is wrong. Hey Green, hello. Maybe just for enhancing the tone of the paper. I mean, I know warm tone paper has that, you know, kind of like dead white color. And I'm sure if you're using a cool tone like they say you can do, it'll give you a slight warmth, but I've heard from a lot of people it doesn't make a big difference. So I wouldn't go for warm with the developer, but with the paper, as I said. Mateo, hello from Colombia. Hola, Mateo. Hello from Spain. It's been snowing today, which has been pretty interesting, and I had to work, so no pictures of that. But yeah, let me see. Sorry. So yeah, Ilford changed the website, and things are a little funky, but you can still find things around. It used to be a little easier to find that. Also, Ilford, Harman, which is basically the Ilford, came out again with their positive paper. So for those shooting large format and maybe wanting to shoot their positive paper, sorry, it's just I'm trying to think about a page to see if it's actually true. I've seen a few stores mention it, but I want to check myself. But yeah, it's been, what happened to that paper, if you guys don't know, that paper was developed by Ilford in Switzerland, which is the different Ilford to the one in England. That's why the one in England is Harman, and the one in Switzerland, which went bankrupt, was the old Ilford, the one that made like the printer paper, the one that you would use at home in your normal printer inkjet. They sold that plant to, actually, I think it was Mago Direct, to make Rolly or Adox. I think it's Adox who bought that plant. It's a mini plant which can make film and paper all the way to 20 by 24 inches. I'm sure it's 20 inches wide for that. So that's why it took so long. Let's see. Paper, black and white paper. Just one sec to see it. This page just is jumpy. Positive paper. Glossy paper. I don't know if it's in stock or not. Out of stock. So for now, at least some of it is out of stock. Let me see it 4x5, which is a normal size. In stock. So yeah, the glossy 4x5 paper, fiber-based positive paper is in stock again. Let me go back to you guys. You guys are talking. Layton says, if you would like to warm it up, make a liter of coffee and soak your print in it for about 4 minutes at 20 degrees. Give it a try. Coffee staining is good fun. Yeah, I've stained before with not coffee, with a different stain for cyanotypes, and it actually works really nicely. Tea works as well, but I don't like the tea version. Also, I've heard the tea, you want to use the cheapest tea. It works fine. Hal says, I used to tone prints with tea. Looks great. Analog Adventure says, now I remember why the neck sleeves that hold 6x7 in 3 doesn't help. It's because my scanner, B850, only does 2 at the time, and I can't cut them in rows of 3. I actually don't scan much, but I guess that's true. You got to do 2 at a time. The thing is, then you have to have 2 6x7, you know, 2, 4, 6, 8, and then another page for the other 2. Federico, good evening. Hao says, camera film photo on IG said that he heard a rumor about Kodak bringing back 5x7 and 8x10 Tri-X, T-Max 100 and 400 and 8x10 too. I mean, it's not gone. If you want to buy Tri-X and 8x10, T-Max 100 or 400, it's not gone at all. Actually, 5x7, it is a bit more picky. I'm not saying you can buy it all the time, but it usually is. Let me see. Photography. I'm looking at B&H right now. What's happening is Kodak is not cutting it all the time. So whenever they cut it, there's stock, and then it takes a while. But if you guys don't know, Keith Canham from Canham Cameras has a list where you can check what film you want to see, and he will let you know when there's enough to make an order, and you can order as much as you want. 1 box, 10 boxes, all the boxes, and it's not an issue. So Tri-X is in stock in 4x5. It's in 10 sheets, 50 sheets, 8x10 Tri-X. It's in stock. I bought it this Christmas, actually, now that I see. T-Max in 4x5, 8x10 is in stock, in color. Let me see. T-Max 400, 8x10 is in stock. 8x10 Ektar is in stock. 5x7 Tri-X is in stock. So yeah, most of it is in stock right now. The only one that I would say is 5x7 in Tri-X is, but T-Max on T-Max 400 is not. But you have to order it through it. House says even my local store has some 8x10 Tri-X. Don't know why he said that though. I think there's a general discussion that it's not available. I don't know why. Maybe European distributors or Asian distributors don't want to bring it in because it doesn't sell as well, because it's almost like 3 times more expensive than Ilford. But yeah, I don't know about that rumor. 5x7 T-Max 100 and 400 is not a normal thing to see, but you can order it through Canham, which is who I would order it through if I needed it. Let's see. TV Photo says, have a Durst M600 enlarger that takes 70 by 70 millimeter 2.5 inch by 2.5 filters. Any tips on what to look for when it comes to enlarger filters? TV Photo, you've got a few kits from different suppliers, but I recommend just getting the filters new from Ilford. Ilford sells them. They're not too expensive. Let me see. Ilford contrast filters. I think you should be fine finding those sizes. I would never get secondhand most of the time. You have here, look, Ilford multigrade filter set, 3.5 inch square. So that should be more than enough for you. You can cut them yourself. And they're $29 new. So there's no reason to not buy them. You have 6x6 inch for $44. And I think that's the last size they have. That's pretty big, 6x6 inches. But yeah, you can buy those. I wouldn't go secondhand unless you know they're brand new, because filters do lose a bit of tone with time. So they'll be less strong. And you might find with a new set, you have different filter sets than with an old set. Actually, that's one of the things that worries me about my color head, is that the color filters could get old. So I might buy replacement soon. So let's see. TV says analog. I just bought some bigger ones from eBay and cut them to size. I mean, you can find those Ilford ones at any supplier. Maine. Hi everyone. Hi Maine. How you draw beautiful pictures? I don't draw, so it's very hard to say. Let me see. But yeah, TV Photo, let me know where you're based and we can find them, but it should be pretty easy to find a filter set. Color filters is a harder thing. Well, it's basically black and white head. You can use the color filters, but you would have to get it. Mine's the DeVere, and those are still in production, I think. So maybe I'll try to see if I can find that. Darkroom, enlarging and enlargers. Let's see if it could be here. Enlarger and enlargers, multi. Oh, this page is not working well. Yeah, you have the Ilford set here too. You have the below the lens, which you can use, which is great also, usually pretty affordable too, 56 pounds in England. 6x6 set for 48 pounds, 3.5 by 3.5 for 29 pounds. Oh, Scott, nice to see you. Sweden. Yeah, TV photo. I was checking out AG Photographic is one of the stores in Europe that for Ilford paper and Ilford chemistry, I'm going to copy and paste the link, is one of the nicest ones because it's really cheap in that. And also the shipping is pretty affordable if you buy a pretty big amount of stuff. So they will ship, I think it's up to 30 pounds for like 19 pounds. So 30 pounds of weight for 19 pounds of money. And if you have those 5-liter fixer developers, and that makes it, you know, pretty affordable. I usually buy my developer for paper there because I buy like a 5-liter fixer, 5-liter developer, some paper maybe, and it just ends up being so cheap that the shipping is free considering how inexpensive it is. A Green says, any hope of Kodak to make T-Max 3200 and 120? They didn't have it before, and I already find it a pretty big milestone that they're bringing it back in 35. Considering Ilford's there with their Delta 3200, I don't think they would, but you never know. Honestly, Kodak, I'm more concerned of how they're going to do with this, you know, Ektachrome Super 8 camera. They're sending surveys, and the price is supposed to be around $2,700. That's going to be a big no-no for 99% of the users. And I don't know how they're going to fix it in terms of, you know, developing and all that. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think the 120 will be coming, and even less in sheet film, which someone I saw somewhere was asking for it. Camille says maybe Ektar 100 started only in 35. No, actually, Ektar 100 I think came straight in with all formats. So I think it was not an issue when they came out. I would have to look at that article back in the day. Analog Adventure Spain says, the only thing that is annoying with film is that there really is a film for every occasion. Sunsets, maybe Ektar, indoor party, portrait or Lomo 800, portraits, portrait 400, 160, not to mention black and white. Not cheap stocking at all. That's actually something that I'm trying to do for a video. I think I said it last week. And I have a really hard time shooting strange films or rare films in the sense of I shoot 99% of my stuff on Ilford HP5, okay? And I changed my mind to Ilford because I was shooting 35, 120, 4x5, 5x7, 8x10, 11x14, and the only brand I could actually buy at all times and was pretty affordable was Ilford. And I changed to that from Kodak. I was a Kodak shooter. I used to use some Tri-X, maybe some T-Max every now and then. And now every time I grab a roll that's not my usual HP5, I have such a hard time to finish it. Because what you're saying, Spain, if you're shooting indoors with, you want to do color, you put a Portra 400 or 800, and maybe you go outside and then you're like, oh wait, I'm outside. So if you can't change your film back, you're stuck with that roll. And that is something I've learned to not do. And I basically shoot 99% of the time Ilford HP5 at 1600 on my 35 cameras. I shoot Ilford HP5 at 400 on my medium format cameras, and Ilford HP5 in 4x5 and 8x10. I actually just got T-Max 100 for 4x5 for my architecture project. and I'll be sharing my results as soon as I can when that starts, which I hope this weekend I'll do one video with that. So Camille says, what do you think about Natura 1600? I had a bunch of rolls of it and I never used it. Same thing as I was saying. I had a problem with getting to use that Natura 1600. I sold it to a friend for very little because I didn't want to use it. It's pretty grainy, but it does have a nice contrast, kind of like Portra in 800 has a nicer contrast. Sometimes it's a little stronger, deeper blacks and very nice contrast. But they're discontinuing it. So if you want to try Natura 1600, go ahead and buy some. It's not cheap at all, but there will be no more soon. Blur says a spare 35mm film body costs about the same as a 120 back and is roughly the same size. I don't understand what you mean as mag. Okay. And is roughly the same size. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much you can have another body, but I'm not one to usually go out with double bodies or double backs. I usually take one. Oh wow, it ranges about 6.75 through Amazon Japan. That's pretty inexpensive for 1600. Well, yeah, they're discontinuing it. So guys, if you want to shoot it, buy it. Analog Adventure, I shot a beautiful sunset today on Portra 400. All I had is color. I usually don't shoot color nowadays. I basically shoot color for the workshops just to give them a bit of a, something funner to shoot than just the normal black and white. Most people that are walking into large format will probably not start with color, so it's nice to give them a bit of a color to see. The new Reflex SLR has a changeable back. Yeah, the Reflex SLR will have a changeable back. There's no news from their Kickstarter, which is a little strange considering we're in March tomorrow. Reflex SLR camera Kickstarter, it's here. There's been no news or updates since January, like 1st or 2nd. Let's see. I mean, considering, yeah, 4th of January was their last update. Yeah, I can see that they have regular updates about our project. Will follow us on the Kickstarter page. Let's see. Yeah, there's no updates here. I don't know. That's pretty strange, I have to say. But yeah, we'll see when that comes. Also, if you want to shoot on a 35mm Flex 3003, I think. There's a Rolly 3003 is a 35mm interchangeable backs, interchangeable lenses. Kind of looks like a mini Rolleiflex, but the modern versions like the 6008, I think 6006. And you can change film midway. Here, Svein, I'm going to send it to you so you can check it out. Layton says, sorry, something has come up in my end. I'm going to have to go. Hey, Layton, we'll see each other. Thanks for joining us for this bit. Analog Adventure says, I shoot 90% black and white, but these days the grass is golden yellow, the sky is Miami blue, so I wanted to shoot color all day. But I had to stick to my guns and keep shooting FP4. I mean, also, when I shoot medium format, consider that a roll has between 12 shots when I shoot 6x6, 10 shots when I shoot 6x7. Worst to worst, I just shoot the roll something faster and then change to something different. In color, maybe not so much, but usually I do that if I need to. Let me see. Okay. But yeah, what do you guys think about the Reflex campaign? Do you guys support that? Did you guys go ahead and buy their Reflex camera? There was 464 backers. I have to admit, I was not a backer, not because I didn't want to help, but just didn't. Let's see how many people bought a camera. There was 153 early birds, then 3 more, 41, 150, yeah, around 200 people. 250, so around 250 bodies were made. Stuart, A Green says we'll wait for generation 2. Yeah, we'll see how that goes too. Stuart says, hi, living Birmingham, AG Photographic is conveniently close to me, yet I haven't used their lab service for developing. Why? They only provide scans with CDs that you need to pick up, antiquated at best. So switch to another lab that scans and uploads the WeTransfer for my download. Oh, I didn't know they wouldn't send them like that. I'm sorry to hear. I remember when they started the lab, and I wonder how they are. People talk nicely about them, but the CD part is also, I find, a little slow and annoying. My lab that I use here in Spain does the whole CD, and even they do that little guide, little print. So it's like a 4x5 with like many pictures. I honestly don't think I need it, and they do give you a CD, which I also don't need. I'd rather do the upload. But what I've done, Stuart, is I asked them to basically do the WeTransfer, and they just do it for me. I guess if you ask, maybe they'll help you out, but maybe not. Blur says, I have all the hardware I could use at the moment, so I won't be backing a new producer with all the attendant risks. I suppose that's a bit cowardly. I'm in the same spot as you, Blur. I have so much gear, more than I need. And when I have backed a product, it's been either that it was extremely exciting for something that I followed through. For example, the travel wide camera. I remember it being a novelty and hearing a poll on large format photography forum and following all the steps from the 3D printing test camera to seeing them choosing the lenses, the cone, the helicoid, seeing the test shots when they went to Brazil. And I was extremely excited for that. I was like, okay, I have 4x5 cameras, but none are portable enough to use a point and shoot. I had a Mamiya 7, which was basically my best quality camera to take for a trip. But I was like, I would love to see some 4x5s and that I can put in my backpack and just carry anywhere I go. So I was there, like refreshing their campaign till it was open. I was backer number 4, got the camera for pennies. I think I paid $49. I've used it a ton. I've developed all my film now that I used it with that camera, and I'm planning on making a video showing you guys my experience with it. I made myself shoot it only handheld, only with one film, which was Fomapan 400, only push to 1600, and a shot a day, at least get a shot a day for, I was going to do a year. I did like a month and a half because I shot way more than I thought. I averaged around 7 to 10 shots on a daily basis. And of course, when you shoot that much, you get a ton of bad shots. But I got a bunch of interesting pictures. And I think camera like that, that's cheap enough that you can carry. I carried it on my Domkey side bag with 5 film holders, light meter and whatnot. And it was so cheap and so easy to just carry everywhere. It's extremely fun. I want to get back on it and keep on shooting more now that I've catched up and my lab is fully functional. But yeah, most cameras that come out on Kickstarter, first you got to be scared. You know, Kickstarter doesn't guarantee anything. Most projects, you never know how much they know about the production, costs and problems. And that always is a bit of a risk. I backed books and I backed other things, but cameras, I think the travel wide, actually no, there's travel wide and another one, which I won't mention because I want to show it to you guys before speaking it up. Hi, Azrael. Nice to see you here. How's your darkroom doing, Azrael? Analog Adventure, in what format do you own the most cameras? The 135, 645, 6x6, 4x5, and what format do you own the least? Good question, Svein. I don't know. Probably the least is, I mean, the bigger sizes, like 11x14, I have one camera. 8x10, I have one. I think I have around two 8x10s if I put it all together. I have like 4 or 5 4x5s. I have a ton of medium format. Probably the biggest amount of cameras is medium format. I know 35, but I wouldn't count them as proper bodies, most of them. A lot of them are just cameras that I barely shoot, or I bought for pennies, or I bought for the lens. But yeah, what I use the most is 35. Then what a second thing I use the most is medium format, and then large format. Format with least is 16x20. It's 0. You should wait for that. I might end up getting into the bigger format, but I still have to, tie some knots before. It is a lot of film commitment, Blur. That's what I'm saying. I shot a lot more than I thought, and it became a problem with developing, and I had to stop myself. But I do want to keep on going. Azrael says, good, need to run water and exhaust, but usable so far. A need further testing. Yeah, building your darkroom is always challenging. I wanted to do, and I want to ask you guys if you would like to watch. I never recorded any video of building the darkroom because it was enough work already just building it on the time to, on top of that, record it with changing angles, with explaining things, and it became a mission to finish and not to record. So that's why I had a bit of a space on my videos there when I was finishing it. But I do have a lot of phone shots of my darkroom, and I maybe would like to put together a video where I post the shots and I kind of like, how do you say, voice over what I did and how I did it, and maybe stop and pinpoint things, draw little diagrams and stuff, showing you. Would you guys like to watch that? I'm sure someone will like to watch that, but I could also do a darkroom tour like a bit more slowly and explain every single machine and everything, how it's built. But I think the step-by-step with pictures would be very useful, as I think it's pretty interesting to see. Analog Adventure says, is there a film stock currently in production that you've never tried? Yeah, Svein. Most of the film stocks out there I haven't tried. I'm not a huge friend of testing things all the time. I kind of like the whole stick to one thing and get to know it. That's why I think I've never done a review of any camera or gear I have, because I always feel like every day I use it, I know something else that I would like to add. So the cameras I use the most, I could talk about, but maybe other cameras, I don't feel entitled to do a review after 5 rolls or 2 rolls. I could give my first impressions and whatnot, but not like a review. So yeah, I haven't tried Berger, Pancro. I haven't tried Ilford, Delta Films ever. I've never tried their, what else I haven't tried? Kodak. I think I tried all the Kodak, not the 800, for example, stuff like that. So some stuff I haven't tried. Slide film, I've tried it all, I think. Yeah, Velvia, Provia, Velvia 50 and stuff. But yeah, maybe strange. Rolly film, never tried. Adox film, never tried. Just because I haven't needed to buy it. Stuart says, can you get travel wide still? Watch your video and it grabbed my interest, and as I have a 90 4x5 f4.5 large format lens to use. Sadly, the travel wide project pretty much died, I think, from the owners being over the market. Either people complained or people, especially during the Kickstarter, which took a longer time as usual. And I've been wanting to get in contact with them to see if we could help out somehow. I was actually helping them out translate their instructions to Spanish. I had it all ready. but so far they don't answer any of my emails either. I do want to talk to them again for a crazy idea I've had lately, and I'll see. But that 90 f4.5, the back element is so big it won't work well on your travel wide. You need something smaller. Usually an f8 or f6.8 would be better. How says happy to see the video. So I'll make that video. I'll work on it. I'll put all the pictures on a sequence and I'll do a voiceover. Azrael's Knight says slideshows don't go over well on YouTube, but a tour with photos will work. Yeah, maybe I'll do that tour and insert pictures. Yeah, the slideshow I feel I wouldn't watch myself, but I'll see how I can figure it out. Video of tour with the photos when you took when necessary. Agfa 4x5. I have some Agfa 4x5. What's the slide film called? I forgot right now. Scala, and I've never tried it. I have it frozen, and I hope to use it soon. But apart from that, no Agfa film. I came in too late for the Agfa film. BW says, I just watched your Darkroom 2.0 video again last night. Enjoyed it. A photo step-by-step videos, discussion, or blog post would be a useful reference. Always nice to see others' design layout. Ahmed, happy to see you too. Analog 65 RSX. No, the one I have is Scala. I have some RSX in 120, but it's so expired, I'm sure it's just going to look all crazy. I have a bunch of expired film. I have two options that I'm thinking of. Either do a giveaway, which honestly I could do, but I always feel like it's just like, feels like to gain attention, which I think is not my thing. Or use it and see what happens. But E6 film is so expensive. I mean, developing is so expensive that I don't know how far I want to go through that. And results are going to be so funky that I really don't know. But yeah, I have some Velvia 104x5, like 100 box sheets. I have some RSX from Agfa expired, which is, I have maybe like 30 rolls in 120. So I don't know what I'll do with that. Analog Adventure says, I agree with Azrael on the slideshow, but it might work on a live show with a live chat. Yeah, I have to figure out that whole live chat where I can insert pictures and stuff. I know it's the OBS software. I downloaded it. I just don't seem to understand how to use it properly. So one day I'll have the time to learn. If someone knows about it and feels like generous enough to help me out, join me on an email and we can chat about it. Blur says, I made a foam board 8x10 pinhole travel wide-ish camera. A couple of layers of foam board can be very useful as a body material. Focusing is obviously not relevant for a pinhole camera though. Sliding box is also possible with foam core, I suppose. Yeah, I've seen the slide box design. I built myself a 4x10 camera a while ago. And actually, I have to see if I can find it. And maybe I'll take it out to shoot. I bought, don't ask me why, some years ago, 2 4x10 holders. I just saw them on eBay. No one was bidding. And I was like, that looks so nice. And all you have to do is cut 8x10 in half. And you got 4x10. And I made myself a point and shoot 4x10 camera. So maybe I should go shoot some street photography with 4x10 camera. It's super rustic, basic, woody piece of whatever, but I think it works. So I should try and see. Maybe I'll bring it from storage and check it out. It's one of a kind. Azrael says, I can help with OBS, probably. Send your questions on Instagram when you get a chance. Azrael, that would be amazing. I think all my questions are pretty much everything. Blur says, that sounds interesting. What about a lens? Well, I designed the camera around the Nikon or Nikkor 120mm, the f8. It's a large format lens that will cover 8x10, even with slight movements. And whoever says not, I've done the movements and it works. There's a few shots from it on my Flickr page. You're gonna have to search a lot. There's some beach shots and stuff in the coast of Spain on the southeast. And the 120 was basically focused hyperfocal, so it was kind of like if you stopped it down to f11, f16, you had everything in focus basically. So I never got to test it properly. I built it and I was so bored when I finished. I was like, I'm not testing this. But maybe I'll get some. I got 2 film holders, so I can do 4 shots. Maybe I'll go out and shoot some 4x10. I'm sure you guys would say yes to that. So I guess I'll see if I can get it out and use it. And yes, Azrael, thanks for the OBS. I will get back to you. Just scares me to see like all that software and all that stuff. But yeah, any other questions, guys? I've been wanting to do some, well, you're gonna see the video I'm gonna upload later on tonight. I just need to click upload on the big computer, and you'll see what I mean by asking questions. But yeah, 8x10. Someone was asking me about 8x10 point and shoots, and first of all, remember 8x10 is extremely expensive, so you got to think about how expensive it is to start shooting film for the sake of point and shooting. There was a Photoman 8x10 camera back in the day that was a point and shoot. Photoman kind of like went bankrupt, then came back, then I think closed again. So yeah, just in case you were wondering, they made 8x10 cameras. Photoman 8x10. Let me see if I can share with you guys. This is a funny shot. Here you go. Photoman 8x10. I'm going to copy the link, but if you put Photoman 8x10, you can find it. Analog Adventure. Tried Lomo Sprocket Rocket? Nope. Used to think it was a gimmicky, but tried it the other day shooting with my kid, and I loved those pictures. Used the frame to cover the sprocket, of course. I'm not a hippie. No, never used any lomography camera. I think the only one I've shot a few times has been a Diana, and I think everything I got from that camera didn't look any good, so I never used it again. Blur said, you just gave me, you have to give me up sleep for a couple of years to do all the projects. Yeah, there's a lot of projects in my plans. Pedro says, hi Nicolas, hi Pedro. Analog 65, I'm looking for electronic plan for Durst EST 500 transformator on the web. I can't really help you with that. Analog 65, try writing Hayland Electronics or Kienzle enlargers. They both build enlargers and stuff like that, so they might be able to help you with it. I think they're probably the nicest people I found in Photokina. Went out to dinner with them, and they were amazing. So ask them all. Blur says they made a lot of odd formats and designs. Yeah, I used the Photoman 6x24 once, and it was pretty fun to use. It came with a 240 Fuji f9 lens, and it was fun. But I don't like X-band format. Imagine 624. It's like even longer. Kyle says glass or plastic Holga lens. Kyle, I would say glass. Everyone that I know that uses a Holga gets the glass one. And I have a few friends that do great work with glass Holga. So yeah, I would say that. PFW308. Hey Nico, have you shot Adox Silvermax? It's only in 35, but has great dynamic range and best suited for high contrast sunny days. Actually, I haven't. And it's probably one of the only Adox film stocks that I might try one day. is because I've heard it's amazing. That it's beautiful film, that it looks great, that it enlarges amazing too. So yeah, I haven't used it, but I've heard a lot of good stuff from close friends. So if you're thinking about it, check it out. I mean, use it. And if you already use it, I guess I'm the one missing out. TV photo. The Ilford filter seems like a good set. Says it can be cut to the right size. Cool site too. On the subject of darkroom and printing, ever tried sepia toning? No, I've never been a big sepia tone. I find the reddish tones to not be exactly my liking. And but I have tried bleaching and toning cyanotypes to brownish, and they look pretty good. The subject that I did, which was a forest, kind of was suited for that, and it looked good. But no, never tried sepia. Jeremy says there's an eBay seller from Italy making 3D prints out of the travel wide-ish camera, 4x5. It goes for 130 euros. Yeah, Jeremy, I've been in contact with him, and I've been wanting to order one. It's just having the travel wide. I feel like I shouldn't. It's more expensive to travel wide, or at least what I paid. And I always feel like, do I really need it? It would basically be, I would be buying it to make a video for you guys. And 130 euros for a video that I know will get some attention, but I feel like it's just going to sit on the shelf. If the camera's no good, it's just going to sit there, and I don't want to spend that money for something that is just going to sit there. But yeah, it looks pretty good. But the 3D material, I know you got to be careful with light leaks. Still haven't heard anyone using it. If you guys know someone, I'd be very interested to know. House says, can you explain the process of toning paper with chemicals? Like if I want to try selenium toning for fiber-based paper. So selenium, for example, what you can do is you can you do your developer, stop bath, you do your fixer, then you wash it, and then I think you have to fully wash it, and then you do the sepia, the selenium toning. So a lot of people also do the wash, they dry it, and when they have a ton of prints that they're finals, and they're like, these are all finals, usually 2 finals of each print just in case, then they go one day and they do selenium toning. When you do the selenium, do remember that you don't want to be inside a closed space. So go to your terrace. I have a terrace just here, which is not much of a terrace, but you just go out there and kind of don't breathe selenium, even with a mask or anything. Do it outside in your parents' garden or do it anywhere. Remember not to dispose it on the floor or in the sink because it's selenium. But don't do it inside a bathroom darkroom. You don't need to be in the dark. Because it's very toxic. Analog 65, thanks. You're welcome. A Green, guys, have been nice as always. See you later. A Green. Azrael says, I've started to organize my film after years of tossing into binders or worse. I noticed your comment on my Instagram saying you have the same problem. Any idea how you'll approach it? Azrael, I've been very good on my negative organizing for the last maybe 3 to 4 years. But my first 2 to 3 years of shooting film, I would cut it, sleeve it. But the problem is when I scanned, I never found the proper sleeve, and I would put it in a different one. So not only do I have my film in sleeves or sheets, negative sheets, but they're mixed. So I'll have a roll that has 2 strips that are from that roll and then 1. So I had to get a light table, put all those strips of film into the light table and start comparing the cuts. Like if you're looking for a needle in a haystack. I started years ago and I did probably 30 or 40. But the first years of me shooting, I shot so much film. I have slide film, color negative film, black and white film. I have all different stocks and stuff. So first I organize it by stocks, then I organize it by, formats, and it's a mess. But the best system I found is the one that I found or I adapted from Tokyo Camera Style, John Sepia. He used to have a blog that was amazing about shooting film and how he did it. He's probably my biggest inspiration for social media photographers, because not only does he run the Tokyo Camera Style, but he also runs his own operation of shooting, developing, printing, exhibiting work, and that's what I think is the whole theme. You have strips separated as well. So what I was going to do is, now what I do is I write the roll. I usually write the date I developed it. I write what chemistry I used and what exposure it was set to, because that's about all I know. I never know when I shot it because I never keep notes for that. And I never know what camera unless you can see the marks. So I'm not very good with that. But I do have binders for like 2018. I have 2 for 2017, 2 for 2016, 2 for 2015. So that's how I do it. Let's see. Analog Adventure. Do you have you spot or bleached before toning? I have tried the bleaching before toning, but you have to. I feel I have to do a lot more to understand what I'm doing. I have done selective bleaching too, and it works great. But you also have to be very careful, and I feel it requires a lot of practice. But yeah. I hopefully will get more to that when I have my darkroom. I'm using my darkroom more. Jeremy. I ordered one of the 3D print 4x5s. I used it for a couple of shots already. I haven't noticed any light leaks, and from a careful look, the travel Y looks like a slightly better build. Oh, nice, Jeremy. And how do you like? How's the focusing? Is it smooth? Is it hard, or does it move easily? I would really want to know. Blur says TV photo. You could perhaps look at the tutorials at Ilford Photo website. They have text, illustration, and video. Yeah, you could check that. Jonas, did you test the monobaths by Ars Imago yet? No monobath yet here. Not a big fan of monobath. Hi, Negative Feedback. Hi, George, and hi, Aslan. Nice to see you guys here. Sorry about your flight, Aslan. I saw you got canceled for snow. It's been snowing here all day. But yeah, any questions you have, let me know, guys. George, have you received your 8x10 holders finally, or still not? I've had a friend with Intrepid 8x10 holders that's had massive light leaks. So if you guys did back that, be careful with using it. Check out for light leaks. This friend would look from the inside of the film holder and see light leaks. You haven't received them. Well, at least you'll get the newer ones, which will be done properly, as far as Max said. Azrael said, didn't that new 55 monobath get discontinued? Yes, it did, but look at famousformat.com, and their monobath is the newer R7, which works at room temperature. So you should use that. Lionsman Aslan says, I haven't received my 8x10 camera from them yet. Any idea when they might be shipping? Aslan, do you have your number of backer? Because on their Kickstarter, they have a list of the dates and when they would be shipping. Their video in the last week, or not, maybe the one before, should say about when are they shipping. I have heard from Max that they're doing well with the 8x10s, and their shipping times are actually on time from what they said a few updates ago. Let me see. I'm trying to see. Intrepid 8x10 Kickstarter project. Ars Imago isn't new 55. No, the Ars Imago is a different monobath. I mean, monobath formulas have been out for years, so you can make your own if you want. But Ars Imago has their own. New 55 had their own. Famous Format, which is new 55 from Sam Heiser, has their own. It's the R7 basically, and you can look it up there. Jeremy says the seller. Oh, your backer number 144. Let me see. Let me see. Update shipping schedule. Backer 101 to 219, February 26th. So Aslan, your camera should be shipping anytime this week, maybe beginning of next week. So yeah, you'll be getting your 8x10 and hopefully this week or next week. Jeremy says the seller 3D print. Let me copy and paste that for you, Aslan, if you want to check it out. Also, Max told me that they respond really well to phone calls, so feel free to call them, Aslan, if you want to find out. You're welcome. Let me see. Happy to help. The seller 3D print 4x5 has to tailor the front element to the lens you choose. I went with a 105. Focusing is okay. Focus range is about 5 to 6 meters to infinity. Oh, the 105 usually don't cover 4x5, so beware of that. Laura says, TV photo, thanks. The relevant selection of the site is learning resources, but it's all interesting. What happened to New 55? This is something I'm working with them to make a video about what happened and what's going to happen in the future with New 55. But the quick answer is the people that were supplying their pods, the pods that go inside each shot of New 55, basically were the people that did the 20x24 Polaroid camera, you know, those huge shots, just kind of sort of the size of this painting behind me. And supposedly they just stopped supplying them those pods. So the moment the pods went dry, in the sense of no delivery, they had to stop film production. Supposedly they were doing well with the product. They were investing and they were making way better product than the beginning. But they had to stop because there was no chemistry pod. And the pod supposedly is not as simple as it seems. And building the machine would run them around $150,000. And they have certain issues with doing a Kickstarter because they saw a tendency from what happened with Kickstarter that will detail when I make the video. But they basically had to just stop. And they stopped, not in a sense of closing it, but basically leaving it hibernating till they can figure out if they can make this pod machine, if they can make everything happen again and come back. So that's what I've heard. Last thing, I talked to Sam on Skype maybe 2 weeks ago. We talked for probably around 2 hours about all of that. And I'm preparing kind of like a Q&A with Sam so you guys can talk and ask and know what happened to New 55. Analog Adventure, I found an easy way to print with good contrast in the darkroom without too much filter and split. Just shoot Filmapan 400 to 1600, no need for any filters. That's what I do with my Ilford HP5. I shoot at 1600 and I found that the contrast is to my liking when I print, so no need to dodge and burn too much. Jonna says, I am tired of rangefinders, need a break, and bought a Canon F1 with a 55 1.2 f. What's a solid wide-angle addition for this setup in the range 24 to 35? If you want to use a fixed lens or a prime, hi Tim, you joined too late. No worries, you got a whole hour to watch behind, and this will post in a second. I have a Canon Fd Lenses. The 17 is pretty amazing, but that's too wide for what you're asking. The 24 f2 is good. The 24 f2.8 is pretty okay. Don't shoot it at 2.8. Shoot it maybe f4, 5.6, and it's pretty cheap. The 28, as Dan is saying over here, is very cheap and very nice. 35, I found is the weirdest selection of lenses. I have a 35 3.5, which I've found no information about, and it's super soft and bad wide open. But if you stop it down a little bit, it's a little better. Actually, my Intrepid documentary is shot partly with the 35. And when I finish the edit, I'll post it and I'll let you guys know what angle was the 35. But yeah, I shoot video with it, and a 3.5 is terrible. But yeah, well, guys, it's 10 o'clock, and it's been an hour. It's been great to talk to you guys, as always. Thanks for joining. And if you have any questions, as always, let me know through social media or live stream or anything, and I'll do my best to help you out. Let me see. There's few last questions. Since I bet you're in there now. Any hints on Intrepid 4x5 and larger kit? Not yet. No information, but I'll show you guys about it. Nick says B&H has short expirables of Velvia 50 and 100. That's a nice deal at $6.99. But yeah, guys, bye. Bye, Aslan. Bye, George. Bye, Jonas, Blur, Howell. Good night. And I'll be uploading just a fun video. Aslan and George will probably find it hilarious. I'll put it up, and we'll talk soon. Thank you, guys. Bye. Good night.